volume bounds and our linear regression line, and it just got to the point where it just got way too oversold, and we had a rip higher right as the oil market closed. We'll put a little bit of bull flag here on aftermarket. I wouldn't be surprised if we came back up to the VWAP here before we sold back off before the election. It's kind of my thinking right now. Let me go out to a daily chart. And if you notice here too, we came down and almost touched the daily moving VWAP line, which holds the last sell we had in September. And but I don't think this is the end. I think we're gonna probably have a second shot at it with the election. So not really offering a swing trade on XIV yet, because I think it still has more room to go down. In fact, I think it'll get down to around $31 to $32 before it's over. But I think we can move another buck or two higher tomorrow. So I'm keeping an eye on that. And then looking at SPY, we went ahead and broke the here we go. I have too many programs running, and but we're still within the channel on SPY, and so we went down and almost touched this fib line. We're reset again, so we may just try to bounce this again, come through this and come down to 200, and just basically the whole Hillary's going to be president move could be sold off here by the end of next week. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Gold and silver had decent days today, which tells you where people were hiding. But I don't like this doji, kind of bothers me a little bit, and so we may have peaked here, and SLW kind of gave back some too, and that's my biggest position. And I sold calls on it yesterday, and I sold calls on it today, and I'm going to sell more calls on my position tomorrow, and just not looking quite yet that it's really ready to really break out. So many uncertainties in the market. So I'm just literally following my my trade signals on this. It's still counter trend. So silver wheat is still, from a long term standpoint, it's still struggling to trend higher. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Looking at the ags, bit of a consolidation today is Joe, and I put a trade signal out there that Joe's a sell signal for people at 23.49. I meant to put 22.49, and so it's a beautiful uptrend. So I'm always looking to buy, and so that's where I am with this. My average is in the mid 22s anyway. And looking at JJG. It's the same. It hit the VWAP and now it's struggling here a little bit. It's consolidating, but the gray markets aren't doing that great. So in terms of from the production side, and the weather's been getting colder. It's still really cold in Australia, and the Canadians have lost the rest of their crops in the ground, and China is having trouble as well. And they're calling for another really cold and wet winter for Northwest Europe. And we're not going to have an El Nino next year to support the Russian trade. So I think we're going to have a good bid on the grains for next 12 months. I think it's just going to continue to move higher. A trade I took today as a short is IYR. And so I put a put spread on it. And I think real estate's in trouble. So as we look at, going into next year, there's just no money left for people. So I just think you're going to see more and more commercial real estate going under. They're going to have trouble keeping the rents where they are, and they're going to have a lot more vacancies. And, between the consumer and Amazon, I think I think we're going to see basically either repurposing or an implosion of commercial real estate around the country. So I want to put a trade on that to see if I can, for November, to see if I could pick up a quick couple grand. And so I'm going to keep an eye on some other opportunities like that. A trade that we have blown out of today was in natural gas, and but I'll be getting back into it again. He gave us a lower low, and I just got out because I'm buying a triple here, and I just didn't want to keep screwing around with it. And I got an inverted hammer, but doesn't look good at the moment. So hopefully get a little bit lower price on it and catch natural gas going into the end of the month and in December, where they're calling for cold weather again. And let's see if there's anything else I wanna share with you here. I think I touched on all the main things that I'm trading. And let me just take a quick look at see how the bond market is dealing with things. I think it looks like the Treasury bonds probably bottomed into the Fed announcement tomorrow, and also just because of the weakness. So probably get a move higher in TLT, and I think oil's probably bottomed today too. So we potentially can fall back down to here, but I think it's looking at where the point of control is and the biggest volume area over the last year, it's right around this area in 46. So I think the market will have a hard time taking it below there. And so I think traders are going to be interested in trying to push it higher again, especially if the dollar falls. And the dollar's rolling over. So I think it'll be supportive of the metals, the miners, oil. And a lot of people are talking about copper and platinum today. And copper's moving up nicely, and I get the wrong one. Sorry about that. Let's see here. I'll just do it with a proxy that I know off the top of my head. Stillwater. Stillwater's doing nice too. Looks like a nice inverted head and shoulder here. So might be something I'll put on my list. And we also have AG. So we're pretty good shape here with the miners. So it looks like AG dojied a little bit too. So we'll just have to keep an eye on these things so we can just grab our profit. We're up almost 80 cents on AG here in 2 days. So that's not a bad move. I think nearly 10%. So we'll take them when we can. Anyways, Bob from Trade Genius. I'll be back at you guys tomorrow, and I'm putting out videos a couple times a night now. So look for some things specifically around the election and what I think is going to happen over the next couple days. Thanks. Bye bye.